Welcome in to the Gabby Gordon Show on this beautiful Friday, August 8th, 2025. I'm your host, you guessed it, Gabby Gordon. Really glad to be revamping this podcast. We'll see where it goes. We'll see how long I can sustain a schedule like this because I do start school in a couple weeks. I'm going into my junior year of college at Hofstra University. But I have had an incredible experience this summer. I was interning at Good Karma Brands, ESPN New York radio in the city, and that experience, invaluable isn't even the word to describe the experience that I had this summer. I mean, I will tell you, I've met some incredible individuals, and I hope that they're listening. And if they are listening, they know who they are. And they will always have a special place in my heart and my mind and wherever the journey takes me. I mean, they're a massive part of the first stepping stone to getting where I want to go. And hopefully that place is back in that office one day. Got to get the bachelor's degree first. Got to finish out college. Got to get that degree. But, we're just one step at a time. And it's a long, long journey. But I'll tell you, it's a beautiful start to the journey. And I could not have asked for anything more in terms of the internship. Because, listen, a lot of internships is just busy work. A lot of times it's just like, all right, we need to take on some interns. We have to pay these interns, or, maybe it's unpaid, but we have to do something. So let's just give them busy work. Let's let them sit in on meetings. Let's let them talk to people. No, that's not what this was at all. This was legit. I mean, that's the only way that you can put it. This was a legit internship with responsibility, with tasks, with opportunity, with networking, with connections. The contacts that I have in my phone today are contacts that I'm going to hold on to for the rest of my career. Because quite frankly, it's those people that are going to help me get to where I want to go. So I am forever in debt to Good Karma Brands, to ESPN New York Radio. And if anyone from that group, either my fellow interns, you know who you are, you guys are incredible human beings, and you're going to do great things in your career, or anyone from that office, same goes to you all. Like, I am just so grateful, so thankful. I have nothing but joy and thanks in my heart to give. But what is wrong with the New York Yankees? All right? I mean, all that joy in the internship. When I come home after a wonderful day in the city, doing what I love, and I go to watch the New York Yankees play baseball, it ruins it all. It ruins it all, because what is wrong with this team? I mean, they are just barely, and I mean barely, hanging on to that third wild card spot. They're third place right now in the AL East. Third place. And they are just barely, they're a game and a half up, holding on to that wild card spot. You've got Boston, 2.5 games up. Seattle, a game and a half up. And then the New York Yankees holding that third spot. They're sitting at 61 and 54. And you've got the Cleveland Guardians and the Texas Rangers trying to creep in 1.5 games back. And the Guardians are on a 3-game win streak. So that's something that you got to watch out for. And then, of course, Toronto, Detroit, and Houston have all clinched their respective divisions. And it's tough. It's tough because I'll tell you, every single loss, it's about the most devastating you could ask for. Every loss is either a walk-off, or the bullpen blows it, or a costly error, or base running blunder. These aren't hard-fought games that are being lost where you got to tip your cap to the other team. No, this is quite literally the New York Yankees beating the New York Yankees every single game that they lose. The term, we're beating ourselves, that's the New York baseball Yankees. Because every loss is just like you have gotten every ounce of joy taken out of you when you watch. And I'll tell you, every win, not much different. If the wins were just as exciting, or I don't know if exciting is the word, but if the wins were just as impactful as the losses, we'd be able to at least even some things out for fans, right? You wouldn't feel as drained if the Yankees were coming back in and winning in exciting fashion. No, every single win is legit, like watching paint dry. Or not even that, like getting your teeth pulled at the dentist. Getting your wisdom teeth out, which is an experience I haven't had yet. I will have one day. So let me know how that is if you had your wisdom teeth pulled out, because that's what it feels like to watch the New York Yankees. And honestly, wouldn't be surprised if watching the Yankees is worse pain than wisdom teeth surgery. They just salvaged their 3-game series with Texas on Wednesday. In a nail-biter, they won 3-2. David Bednar was the trade deadline pickup that is the only trade deadline pickup in my eyes that has worked out for this team so far, and he's struggled. He's struggled since coming to New York. He needed 42 pitches to close out a 5-out save. He got the job done. But if you look at this team as a whole, I mean, if they lost that game, they would have fallen out of wild card position. At least for the temporary future. They would have fallen right out of it. And that is scary. That is not good at all. Like, of course, I'll tell you, slumps happen. Slumps happen. And they're brutal, but they happen. They happen to every team in the MLB. Your best stars will stop hitting. Your lower level guys will start to heat up a little bit, but can only produce so much, and then it'll even itself back up again. It'll even out because your guys will start to get hot again. Baseball's a game of failure. We've heard it over and over, right? That's baseball, Susan. That's what John Sterling always says, right? Slumps happen to the best teams, but I gotta tell you, this is no longer a little slump for the Yankees. Okay, this is no longer a little slump. Because on June 12th, the Yankees reached their high water mark at 17 games over 500. They were 42-25. 6 straight losses followed, including 3 consecutive shutouts at one point. And they are 19-29 since June 12th. These are the teams that have the worst records during that time besides the Yankees. The Nationals, the Rockies, the Twins, and the Giants. That's the company the Yankees have been in since June 12th of the season. It's August 8th, and not much has changed. Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, they were very deserving All-Stars, and they have struggled since the All-Star break. Max Fried has struggled. His command has been nowhere to be found. His velocity has been down as well. That's concerning. That's concerning because he came in, he was the substitute ace because you lose Garrett Cole to Tommy John in the spring, and you can't replace Cole. There's no replacing him, but I'll tell you, Fried and Rodon did exactly what they had to do. They picked up the slack. That is what led the Yankees to be what they were, 17 games over 500 in early June. Those two guys got their jobs done. But they have just been bad. Those two have been bad for well over a month now. Fried allowed 4 runs in 5 innings against the Rangers on Monday. 4 runs in 5 innings. It's the 4th straight start, according to CBS Sports. The 4th straight start and 5th time in 6 starts he has allowed at least 4 runs. Now, he missed a start around the All-Star break because of a blister, and he has not been the same since he missed that start. So I don't know if he's still dealing with a blister. To me, that's like, come on, man up. But I get it. Blisters are tough for pitchers because there's a lot of different grips that you have to work with. There's a lot of different specific mechanics you've got going on, and so a blister can be painful. It can derail that. I understand, but at this point, that's not the case anymore. He's struggling hard, and Rodon walked more batters than he struck out on Wednesday. He walked 4 batters. He struck out 3 in 5 innings. He let up 2 runs, and that was his best start since the All-Star break. That was his best start. I mean, it is bad. It is really bad. Fried's ERA through June, 1.92. Since July 1st, 5.81. Rodon's ERA through June, 2.95. Since July 1st, 4.78. Not a recipe for success. Not a recipe for success. And then you've got trade deadline acquisitions that have done nothing positive for this team. Again, aside from Bednar, who seems like he is the permanent starter for the time being, or at least should be, closer, at least should be the permanent closer. Because Devin Williams is a whole other story. I mean, we'd have to be recording for 2 hours for me to get through everything that's wrong with this team. We'd have to be recording all day for me to get through what's wrong with this team right now. Cashman went in there during the trade deadline, and he seemingly filled all the holes that needed to be filled. Every person on social media said this was Cashman's best trade deadline potentially ever. Potentially ever. He went crazy in like the last hour and a half of business. He got all these relievers. He picked up a shortstop. He failed to gain a starter. But the real issue was in the bullpen. I'll give it that. The real issue was the bullpen. And how has it worked? How has it worked? Well, one of your trade deadline acquisitions is now in AAA. Jake Bird's gone. Not around that long. What he did in his time here, not positive. He's gone. And what have your other acquisitions done? Your shortstop, for some reason, was playing right field and made maybe one of the worst errors on one of the most routine plays in baseball. That costs you a game. Bednar struggled at the gate. He was very much a contribution to their loss back earlier in the week. It's bad. It's been bad. And who is there to blame? There's no accountability. There's no discipline. There's no fundamentals. I mean, you've got base running mistakes that little leaguers don't make. The Little League World Series for baseball is going on right now this week. And the Yankees have made more base running mistakes than those kids, those 12-year-old kids, in Little League. And the accountability is nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. I mean, they have a player development problem in New York. A player development problem. These young players are not taking steps forward. They're not. Anthony Volpe? I mean, he was one of the top prospects in the game. And he can get on some offensive hot streaks. But it's short-lived. And his defense, while sometimes he looks like the gold glover that he once was, but most of the time this season, he has been a liability at shortstop. He has been a liability. There's no other way to put it. I mean, you can live with a shortstop who is average, below average offensively, if he is making every play, if his defense is beautiful. That is what they did in 2023 and 2024 with him. He's not been a special offensive hitter by any means. He's got speed. He can get on base here and there. He can make things happen. He can put the ball in play, line drives up the middle, singles, doubles, the occasional triple. Sometimes you get that nice deep shot from him if he gets something on, if he really, really puts it on, right? Not this year, because he has not complemented his defensive struggles with anything positive. Anything positive. He leads all players, regardless of position, with 16 errors. 16 errors. That's not just shortstop. That's the entire defense in the league. That's problematic. And when you ask the manager, Aaron Boone, hey, Boone, what are you going to do with Volpe? What do you think? It's, I believe in him. I believe in him. He's going to pull out of it. It happens to every player. And I get it. Listen, I understand that your manager needs to defend your players. If you have a manager that is throwing your guys under the bus, that creates a poor culture in the locker room. I understand that. But at this point, the conversations that are happening behind closed doors are probably very different from what's happening in front of the media. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, there is no way that the conversation about sending Volpe down hasn't happened. There's no way. And if it hasn't happened, then I'll tell you the front office needs to be reevaluated right now. Right now. Because how in your right mind can you look at what is going on with this team, Volpe included, and not want change? I talked about it on ESPN Radio, Don Hahn and Rosenberg, Alan Hahn, Don LaGreca. They asked me very, very simply, why do you blame Hal? Why do you think it is a Hal Steinbrenner issue and not just a Brian Cashman or Aaron Boone issue? And the argument was great. The argument was strong, right? Hal lets Brian Cashman do whatever he wants, spend the money, put a good team together, and give Boone all the tools to succeed. And to the naked eye, he's done nothing but that. Right? He's done nothing but that. He's given Boone every tool that he's needed to succeed. He's filled all the holes. He gets these big-name players. He got Soto. He got Bellinger. Goldschmidt was an interesting acquisition that's somewhat worked out, right? He's gotten on these hot streaks. He's been a pretty productive hitter. He's got a good glove. That's to the naked eye. That's what you see. And then you look deeper, and you see that the same holes are still exposed. But even more so now, no matter what talent you're bringing in, the same issue of lack of fundamentals, lack of simple baseball skills and IQ, lack of discipline, lack of accountability, that's on your manager. So then why, Yabby? Why are you blaming Hal Steinbrenner? Well, if your manager is doing the same thing over and over again, that's the definition of insanity. And I get it. He made it to the World Series last year. Fell short. Terrible fashion. Some of those decisions, I think, should have gotten him fired to begin with, but no one's going to fire a manager out of the World Series. That doesn't happen anymore. Right? Doesn't happen. So why, Gabby? Why do you blame Hal? Well, the whole Yankees universe is calling upon Boone to get fired. I mean, you look on X today, or any social media platform, and I'll tell you, a majority of people want that guy out, and they want him out now. And if they had gotten swept by Texas, wouldn't have been surprised if we were having a different discussion today. I think he saved his job with that win. So why? Why are you blaming Hal, Gabby? Well, who's keeping Boone employed? That's Brian Cashman. Right? General manager, connection. And if your general manager is not doing the job he needs to do, if your general manager is not getting the job done, who is next? Well, that's the owner. That's Hal Steinbrenner. It comes from the top down. If one piece of the puzzle is missing, you cannot finish the puzzle because there will always be one piece missing. So Hal Steinbrenner is absolutely the one to blame. Because if you want Aaron Boone fired and Cashman's not doing his job, then who else is there to blame? Your manager and your GM are both not doing the job right. So as an owner, you got to let him go. You got to make a change. And I really do find it so hard to believe that conversation hasn't at least been had at least once or twice, a little bit here and there behind closed doors. The media will never hear about it. It won't happen. Right? Boone has his sayings, and he'll stick to those for the rest of the season and the rest of the time that he is the manager of the Yankees. He'll stick to that. He will. So if that's the case, the conversations behind closed doors, I have no doubt, have been the ones that the Yankees fans have wanted. I wouldn't be surprised. If the Yankees miss the playoffs this year and Boone is not fired, I will be shocked. Utterly shocked. Beyond anything else, I will be shocked. And you've heard it here. You've heard it here. You've heard it here on the Gabby Gordon Show, August 8th, 2025. It's a Friday. If they miss the playoffs and he is not gone, this team no longer cares about winning. It is all just money and business. And I really, really do hope that's not the case. Because if that is the case, what are we doing? Why are we spending our time watching a team that doesn't want it? Because I can't even honestly say that the players want it right now. And You've got the best right-handed hitter of all time in Aaron Judge in your locker room. He's your captain. And he is never going to win a World Series. He will never be able to flaunt a ring until something changes. It's the same rant over and over again. And quite honestly, I hate doing it. I hate the same song and dance. I hate turning the mic on and having to rant about the same garbage. It's garbage. But it's what we have to do. And we're in it together. Yankee fans, we're in it together. We'll be playing the Houston, well, not we, they will be playing the Houston Astros tonight at 7:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cam Schlittler is on the mound. 24-year-old, he's been a bright spot. He's been one of the only bright spots in the recent future, in the recent past for the Yankees, and the future as well. To me, this is a team that, if nothing changes, goes nowhere. They'll be facing off against Hunter Brown. He's got a 2.47 ERA in the 2025 regular season. He's 9-5 in 22 games. 131 innings pitched. Cam has a 4.58 ERA in 4 games, but he's a young kid. He's got a lot of work to do, but he has flashed it on the mound. He has shown some flashes, some promising stuff, so that's one bright spot if we want to be a glass half full type of podcast today. It's been a mostly glass half empty last 25, 30 minutes at this point now. My goal wasn't to talk about the Yankees the entire podcast, but I think that this one needed to just be an airing of grievances for New York Yankees. Because I got all these emotions and all these feelings. They have no place to go. They have no place to go because it's the same song and dance every single day after watching this team play. So this was my therapy session. This was my airing of grievances. And feel free to do it with me in the comments or wherever you are listening to this podcast, because you can get it wherever you listen to your podcasts. So with all that being said, that's going to wrap up today's Friday edition of the Gabby Gordon Show. I'm sorry for making it so depressing and sad and negative, but you know what? Some days we gotta be real with ourselves. Some days we gotta say it like it is. And maybe, just maybe, the Yankees will prove me wrong the rest of the way. And by next Friday, when we film one of these podcasts, or even before then, depending on the schedule, maybe we'll be able to celebrate that the Yankees are solidifying themselves as a playoff team. One can only hope, right? Thank you so much for tuning in. You've been wonderful. This has been fun. Tune in next Friday, same time, same place, The Gabby Gordon Show. My name's Gabby Gordon. I am so thankful that you've been with me for the last, 23 minutes, 25 minutes of some New York Yankees baseball talk. I will see you next week. As always, be awesome.